Hi, I'm Bob Bruchey, here with Jim Miller and our Callaham. Stay with us, for you have found the Flipside. Last week, our fellow panelist, Tim Rowland, had a great column in the Herald Mail concerning immigration. Here's Tim now with a short commentary, and we'll get back to the panel when Tim is finished.
To be upfront about it, I'm not real big on kids. Their laughter is like hitting an electric fence bare-chested, and I'd rather pull my own head off than watch a child eat a poached egg. As W.C. Fields said, I like children, so long as they're properly cooked. And look at the trouble they're in. Everywhere you look, children are being arrested, institutionalized, detained, and even pepper sprayed. Of course, I should talk. When I was a kid, I got into so much trouble I thought pepper spray was one of the 4 food groups. But as paranoid, closed-minded, and hard-hearted as I am, I can't believe that we're all so terrified of 50,000 children on our border. Like, what are they going to do? Put a swimming pool-sized wad of bubble gum on our shoes? So what? They're from Central America instead of real America. Kids are kids. Cut a little hot dog into some mac and cheese and set them up in front of Dating Naked on VH1, and you'll never even know they're here. I grant you the whole thing's a little weird. I mean, I didn't want to be seen with my parents either, but I don't think I'd have crawled through thousands of miles of pumas and army ants just to have someone else pick me up after the dance. And shouldn't that tell us something? The conditions where they come from must have really been bad. Think about it. You can't get most teens off the couch with a water cannon. So you know those boys and girls aren't coming here for the Taco Bell. The only way you'd get U.S. kids to go to such extremes would be to put the border between them and a PlayStation. But then when we think of our own kids, we think of them as individuals. The goofy clothes, the absurd haircuts, their first ball game and how excited they get at Christmas. We think of the dopey things they do, their dreams, their hopes, their fears. But when we think of 50,000 of them together, we think of them as a group. A child is a him or a her. A group is an it. And that's part of the problem, isn't it? We're scared of groups. We love the individual, but we hate the group. It's the sentence that starts out, some of my best friends are, fill in the blank with the group of your choice. I'm sure you could get along famously with any individual member of Hell's Angels that you might choose. We'd see a human being sitting across from us and find common ground. And we tend to accept human beings with open hearts. And good for us for having that makeup. What's more, we've always admired individuals who took great risks and went to extremes to better themselves and improve their standing. But groups? We don't see it that way. It's those Mexicans. Mexicans being our catch-all word for anyone with brown skin, whether they come from Tijuana, Honduras, Barcelona, or the Philippines. But at heart, we're good people, they're good people. And if we could just see them as people instead of the group to which they belong, well, then we might look at them a little more kindly. And that might create a continent of goodwill and set a worldwide example that would make this planet a far better place for everyone to live. If that's what we want. Unfortunately, that's a rather big if.
Okay, guys, lots to discuss about this issue. Art, will immigration reform, illegals, and homeless kids affect us locally?
Well, I mean, it's been in the paper, and of course that makes it true. Anything that's printed in the paper. Yes, I think we're going to end up. Fact of the matter, I got an email today from Governor O'Malley. Of course, I'm sure it was a mass email asking me if I'd be willing to take in one of these immigrants as a foster care family. So yeah, it's going to get here. John Barr mentioned it on the county commission board. There's no way that we're going to be exempt from at least considering the issue. And of course, Tim's column, Tim's commentary just a minute ago is it a good thing for us to consider the kids?
Well, Jim, I'm going to pass it to you before I really tear this apart.
You're going to.
You know, I mean, you have to consider the kids, but my consideration is to send them back. I just, you know,
So no social or moral responsibility is the greatest nation on earth.
I think we have a moral and social responsibility while they're here.
Okay.
But there's an argument to be made that the best place for them is with their parents, and obviously in many cases their parents aren't here.
Okay.
I just, you know, and the other thing is, how many have we lost on the trip up because they've been sold off for any other number of not good things?
Now, don't get me wrong. I'm a control of the border kind of guy. I mean, I think we need to do that. I think we need immigration reform. There's no two ways around that. In the warm-up, we were talking about that. Some of these kids, we certainly don't want. Some of these kids aren't kids.
We don't need immigration reform.
Okay.
We need to follow the law.
Okay.
We have immigration law.
All righty. I won't disagree with that.
We don't need reform.
Okay.
We need to follow the law.
Well, now, the one piece of reform that we absolutely do need is the 2008 bill that they keep talking about, which exempted 3 countries from having to follow the same procedures that essentially Mexicans immigrating to the United States had to follow. That sort of was the key that opened up the border. That's reform. We need to reform that. We need to take that
rewrite the law. Right.
Exactly. Exactly. So, I mean, there is a case there for some immigration reform. No
But
doubt.
Let me tell you what, don't get me wrong. You know, in Tim's column also, he talks about Christianity and Christians.
Sure.
Okay. I will tell you, could I look at a 5-year-old little girl who comes from El Salvador, who could be sold off into the sex slave trade at 5 years old?
Well, yeah.
You know, can I look at a little girl like that and say, send her back? No, I can't do that. Okay,
Right.
I just can't. I'm not as concerned for our country of 50,000 children coming to our country.
Right.
I'm concerned about 500,000 people who are 18 and older who are not little 5-year-old girls,
Right.
who have tattoos all over their face and their arms, and you know, they all carry knives, and
they wear their pants below their...
they wear their pants below their butts with their belts cinched tight. Yep. I worry about those coming to America.
Right, right.
Which means we need to control our border. I'm not saying we need to shut it off completely.
Sure.
I mean, we definitely still are the land, you know, the home of the brave and the land of the free, and you know, give us you're tired and hungry, and do all that. We still are that. Sure. I believe that wholeheartedly.
But Jim, go over to Jim's point. I mean, Jim was making a really good point about what about the ones that are here? I mean, we're not just going to arbitrarily, and I'm even hearing you say it, Bob, we're not going to just arbitrarily pick up that 5-year-old girl and ship her back on an airplane to El Salvador, where things were really bad for her in the first place. So, I mean, none of us are heartless like that,
No.
right? I mean, so there are some places where the local community, Washington County, could be helpful in this moral issue.
But it's not going to be 50,000.
No, it's
50,000
certainly
is the number today.
50,000 is going to turn into 1 million fast.
Absolutely.
Well, if you read all the reports, it's already turned into 11 million.
Yeah.
I mean, there are purportedly 11 million
illegal aliens in the country.
Exactly, already, not counting or counting.
They're not
these.
5-year-old girls.
No, probably not even
Probably not.
1/10% of
Right,
that.
right.
But there's a lot more than just some of the, and of course I get sort of mad at the whack jobs on both sides of the issues. The radicals that come out and say, you know, ship them all back, you know, just get rid of them, get them out of our country. America's for America. I mean, I can't go there. Then again, on the other side, I can't say, We just need to tear down all the fences and open up the borders and allow anybody that wants to come into this nation to come in. We can't afford that.
Look
Well,
at
we
my
need to
complexion.
build
Do I look like a
defenses.
European to you?
No, no.
Okay,
no.
all right. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure that we migrated here.
Sure. Oh,
You know,
absolutely. I mean, there's no two ways around that.
But you know, the immigration reform has got to start with controlling the borders.
You do. You have
'Cause
got to.
regardless
control
of what we're hearing, we don't have control of the
No.
borders.
Sure.
Period.
Well, the other issue that's on a lot of people's mind on this is what's the government's role aside from laws and controlling the borders? What's the government's role? I mean, Tim brings up a very good issue. The bishop of the Episcopal Diocese in Maryland sent out a blanket message to all Episcopalians saying that as Christians, we have a moral responsibility to take care of these people, whether that's on a short-term basis or even, we can't line them up and shoot them by any
Well, I'll
stretch
go
of
one
it.
step further. As Christians, we have a moral obligation to take care of everybody who is homeless and jobless and all those things, okay, and hungry and sick. So, whether it's these 50,000 or whether it's the ones who are here now or if it's our veterans, we have a moral obligation to take care of them
Sure.
too. So I guess the real question is, when can we actually say, listen, enough's enough, we're full? Okay.
Well, I think that speaks to the point of it's going to hit us locally. We're going to have some responsibility. Some of the churches in this community, I can rest assured that some of the churches in this community are going to step up to the table on O'Malley's plea, for example, and say, yeah, send us 5 kids to this area. We'll take care of them. And so we're going to be impacted. We can't
We'll find
avoid
foster
that.
homes.
Sure.
Okay. Well, listen, I'm sure we could talk about this all night long, but when we come back, Art and the panel will be discussing the local housing market. Are things getting better or worse? Stay tuned and decide for yourself.
When Scott was just a little kid, we knew something was a little different about him.
So what do you think, Scott?
Well, I was hoping for something with flames, a big block, and a high car.
So it really wasn't a surprise when he opened up a speed shop on Marshall Street in Hagerstown. You can find performance parts at every Megamart or .com, but when you buy from Scott, your satisfaction's guaranteed.
And our prices are still as low as my size. We still have bras.
For your car, of course.
Scott's Speed Shop on Marshall Street in Hagerstown.
The University System of Maryland at Hagerstown provides a convenient and affordable opportunity for you to meet your goals.
I graduated from Hagerstown Community College. I went into the job force and I had 3 children, and I just decided I was ready to obtain my goal of becoming a teacher.
At USMH, you can choose from more than 20 programs of study to complete your bachelor's degree or earn a master's degree.
I feel like I'm finally where I'm supposed to be.
USMH, you're ready, we're here.
It's that time of year again at Hagerstown Honda. The 2014 models are on the way and the 2013s must go. It's your last opportunity to save big with 0% for up to 60 months on every new 2013 in stock. There's less than 300 models remaining and time is winding down. Looking for the lowest payment? Lease the award-winning all-new 2013 Honda Civic 4-door LX Automatic for only $219 per month with no money down. Or lease the award-winning all-new 2013 Honda Accord 4-door LX CVT for only $269 per month with no money down. It only happens once a year. The Honda Summer Clearance Event going on now from the dealer that's making it easy, Hagerstown Honda.
The Bottom Line Sales Event is back at Hamilton Nissan. It's our biggest sale of the year and your chance to save thousands. Get up to $5,000 off on Altimas or drive for as low as $18,600. Or choose Rogue, up to $6,000 off or as low as $19,200. New Sentras for under $16,000. Over $7,000 off on the new Pathfinder. Frontier pickup starting at only $18,100. But hurry, the Bottom Line Sales Event is for a limited time at Hamilton Nissan, your dealership for life.
If you have the audacity to believe that the massive challenge of saving for college deserves more than meager attention from your financial advisor,
if you believe that whatever you're facing, you deserve FaceTime.
Join the nearly 7 million investors who think like you do. FaceTime and Think Time make a difference.
Join us.
At Edward Jones, it's how we make sense of investing.
These really are the best years of your life, so why not make the most of them at Homewood at Williamsport? Conveniently located near Washington and Baltimore, we have a rich tradition of helping retirees maintain an independent social lifestyle. Homewood offers attractive, spacious cottages without any maintenance hassle or headaches, plus a vibrant social community and access to the best amenities and medical care. Woodlands Apartments with up to more than 1,200 square feet of beautiful living space. Now's the best time to look into Homewood at Williamsport. Enjoy worry-free living today and tomorrow at Homewood at Williamsport.
Well, I was shocked. I just got an independent price estimate on our residential property in the city of Hagerstown, and the estimate came in thousands below what I believe the property is worth. Jim and Bob, each of you are homeowners in Washington County. What's your take on the future of the housing market in our community?
You want to kick it off?
Sure, absolutely. Well, I don't know what the future holds necessarily. I keep hearing about this recovery in the housing market, and quite frankly, I've not seen it in my property. I have a property in the city for sale, has been for sale, and we're not getting anywhere near. We're being offered, we bought it in 1991, we're being offered about 20 grand more than what we paid for it in 1991. Yeah, that's not so good.
No, that's exactly, and I'm hearing that from a lot of people.
Now, you should have sold it in 2006.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, that's
hindsight
exactly
is 20/20.
Sure is.
Sure. But I mean, we had Anibal Basu in here, noted Maryland economist, whatever credit you want to give him, pretty knowledgeable guy. And he talked about the recovery.
So is Lou Scally.
Well, yeah.
Just saying.
Okay, Lou Scally's pretty knowledgeable guy. And Tom Wright.
But he's wrong at least 50% of the time.
Well, sure. So. And I mean, maybe Aniban's wrong on this too. But one of the things that caught my attention last year and even the year before in one of his discussions with the Chamber of Commerce is that we were fortunate, that was his take, here in Washington County, because the high that we achieved was not as high as other localities. Therefore, when we fell off, we didn't fall off as far. But this latest assessment that I got on my property, I mean independent assessment, not the state assessment, it was shocking to me.
Well, the triennial reassessment of 2013,
right,
when I got my tax bill,
right,
I'm 20% lower than I was in 2010.
Gotcha.
Now,
gotcha.
Having said that, the city raised taxes 11 cents, so my taxes didn't go down any, even though my property's worth less.
I was going to say that's.
I think I'm paying more actually.
Well, sure.
And I know the two of you live in the city. I own a property in the city. I don't live there. One of the other reasons I think my property is having problems with value is because of all this crazy, ridiculous legislation they're putting in against the landlords, and I'll say it that way.
Sure.
I do live in the county, and I got to tell you, it's no better in the county, so this is not necessarily, in my mind, just a city of Hagerstown issue. This is a Washington County market issue.
Sure. I mean, and when I still travel the city a lot, and I can tell you that I am seeing no decrease in the homes for sale, the ones that were for sale 2 years ago, and the ones that are for sale now and more. I got to tell you, we unfortunately, municipalities in general, when there's a recession / depression,
right,
we tend to be two years behind what the national recession is,
right,
which means we don't get hit till 2 years later. Now you would think that giving that train of thought, that we would come out of it 2 years after the national recession was over. They've been telling me the national recession was over in 2009. I have not figured that out yet, because that's actually when it hit our municipality. So having said that, we should have been out of it in 2011.
Sure.
We have not seen that recovery. We have not seen it and there's many things to blame here. There's state government regulations that have been forcing businesses out, which causes job loss.
Right.
There's businesses that can't afford to be in business, which causes job loss. So we're getting hit with the grand whammy. I mean, housing's terrible, jobs are terrible. We haven't come out of that yet, and I really don't see. I don't see any light at the end of the tunnel.
Sure. Well, you hit upon a big thing, at least as far as I'm concerned. most of the talking heads on the national news are saying the key to the rebound, and housing would be part of the rebound, there's no doubt about it, part of the rebound is directly related to jobs. So what do you think? I mean, is that what we need here in Washington County? I mean, I'm certainly not a Pollyanna, but then again, on the other hand, are we going to get more jobs in this community? And will that lead to a recovery? And
keep in mind that our close proximity to West Virginia and Pennsylvania makes it easy to travel from Washington County to either one of those states to go to work. So when people beat us up constantly about, we're not creating jobs. Jobs are being created around us so we can travel to.
Right.
All right. Now, is that a good thing? No. but it's a thing at least, and people can go to work and make money. Now, do I want to drive to Chambersburg or beyond to go to work? No, I don't want to do that, But people do it every day. People drive to Northern Virginia, they drive to D.C., they drive to Rockville, they drive to Baltimore.
It was over 60%, if I'm not mistaken, of the number of employed people in Washington County that go out of the county for their job.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's somewhere in the neighborhood of 60% or so, which means only 40%. And of course, then for the number of jobs, we also have a large group of people coming in to Washington County.
We do.
And so, I don't know how that affects.
It's about even, actually.
Okay.
Well, and the other question I would ask, or what I wonder about is, does our infrastructure have anything to do with it? We talk about the need to widen 81. We know that there are issues elsewhere in the county. Again, as a lifelong resident here, I'm in love with the quality of life here. I'm in love with what we have here as a community. We've got great people. That's been proven over and over again. I don't know why everybody wouldn't want to flock to Washington County. But I think compared to our neighboring states, even though our tax base may be a little bit different, I think some of the things the commissions have done in the past have been good. I respect the fact that, unlike West Virginia, you don't have two houses and then a convenience store in the middle,
Right.
or an auto
or a
repair
garage.
place. Right, exactly.
Transmission store.
Yeah, exactly. There's benefit to that.
Right.
So, I don't know, but I wonder about those infrastructure projects.
Sure.
Well, and we do need to continue to focus on infrastructure for our future. We talked about this years ago, and I know Art being in Greater Hagerstown Committee, and Jim, I know that you're involved. But we talked about the need for the bridge over the Antietam, the need to develop Mount Etna Farms for several reasons. One, public safety.
Sure.
The second is to take traffic off Dual Highway and Mount Etna Road, and to help traffic at Jefferson Boulevard. So, but with that infrastructure, we move forward and we put that infrastructure in place. Sure, okay, is it a build it they will come scenario? More than likely it is.
Sure.
All right. But in the meantime, while you're waiting for it to come, it still addresses all those other needs of getting traffic off major thoroughfares that are constantly congested.
Sure, and I think that's an extremely good point. Both you and Jim are talking about infrastructure improvements and how that'll lead to possibly to jobs, and then how jobs will hopefully work with the economy and
people buy houses, buy food, buy cars, do all those things.
And maybe
go to
my
baseball
house
games, maybe.
Yeah, that's right. Maybe my house will go up in value. Coming up next, Jim Miller has this week's People's Choice topic. Looks like even the Democrats don't like what the Democrats are doing, or is that not doing, here in Western Maryland. Don't go away.
The University System of Maryland at Hagerstown provides a convenient and affordable opportunity for you to meet your goals.
I graduated from Hagerstown Community College. I went into the job force and I had 3 children, and I just decided I was ready to obtain my goal of becoming a teacher.
At USMH, you can choose from more than 20 programs of study to complete your bachelor's degree or earn a master's degree.
I feel like I'm finally where I'm supposed to be.
USMH, you're ready, we're here.
Hi, I'm Mr. CopyQuick. Most people know CopyQuick as the place to go for fast copies. As Mr. CopyQuick, I still do copies fast, but I do a lot more. I do beautiful digital color printing. I also do graphics design. Wow, I was created by my own staff, and I'm so easy to find. I'm located at 710 Oak Hill Avenue, Hagerstown. There's plenty of store-side parking, or you can visit me at copyquick.com. If you want to see how really good I am, Give me a try. I'm Mr. Copyquick.
Barbers Carson Jewelers has been your community jeweler for over 110 years. We have the region's largest selection of diamonds, designer jewelry, including bridal, gold, and silver fashion jewelry, and fine Swiss timepieces. We strive to combine quality, expert personal attention, and affordable financing to create an exceptional shopping experience aimed at exceeding your expectations. At Carson's Jewelers, there's something for everyone that will bring a smile to that someone special in your life.
For over 20 years, Antietam Cable Television Productions has been bringing you local programming. From coverage of the Alsatian Mummers Parade and high school sports to unique local programming like our Ghosts and Legends shows and the Civil War in Washington County. Now you can own them on DVD. Just visit AntietamCable.com and click the DVD store button at the top of the page. You'll find all your favorite local programming from Antietam Cable. And right now, for a limited time, get 25% off plus free shipping on everything in the store. Antietam Cable Productions, bringing quality local programming to your home.
If you have the audacity to believe that the massive challenge of saving for college deserves more than meager attention from your financial advisor,
If you believe that whatever you're facing, you deserve FaceTime.
Join the nearly 7 million investors who think like you do. FaceTime and Think Time make a difference.
Join us.
At Edward Jones, it's how we make sense of investing.
Businesses depend on technology, and smart businesses are migrating to cloud computing to increase performance and functionality and to eliminate costly in-house servers. With 15 years of experience, over 100 employees, and over 1 million users converted, Planet Technologies has cloud computing solutions for large business, small business, and your business. Reach for the cloud with Planet Technologies.
So thanks to Bob R. from Hagerstown for this timely topic. Recently, Congressman Delaney broke with the Democratic Party line and said publicly that the state and feds have grossly overlooked helping Western Maryland. A lot dealt with a lack of quick and positive help for the recent flood victims in Clear Spring and other Western Maryland communities. The Herald Mail doubled down on this with a column in Tuesday's paper, emphasizing what Delaney said. Now, couple this with the no bond bill actions taken by most of our delegation, and we have a great topic to talk about. First, Bob, is Delaney right?
Yes.
On which point?
We are overlooked. We've been overlooked in Western Maryland for years. Whether it's our fault or not our fault, we have been. I will say that the blame probably lies 85% with our delegation in Western Maryland.
So
that we are overlooked in Western Maryland.
Tim Rowland in a column, and we just had Tim on a special report here recently. Tim Rowland in a column about a year ago, and I literally was drinking coffee and almost did a spit take when I read this, spoke of the do-nothing delegation in Western Maryland. Do you agree with that categorization?
You know, that's a little harsh, but yes. I tried to be nice about that.
You know, where I'm going with this thing, I mean, is it, who loves us? I mean, you know, our own delegation, the Republicans don't love us. The Democrats, by admission of Congressman Delaney, don't love us. So who loves us? Who loves
John
us?
Donahue loves us.
Well, John Donahue.
He's the only one.
I don't disagree with that.
I don't disagree with it either.
You know, the sad part, and we can joke about it a little bit because, unfortunately, if you didn't laugh, you'd cry.
Sure.
In our situation here in Western Maryland. But, you know, and I understand the thought process of when you go down to Annapolis that you have, you know, your set standards. I understand that, okay? Sure. And you have your principles that you want to abide by. But you also have the people who you represent.
Sure.
You need to represent them too. And unfortunately, you know, Senator Shank, I'll take him as an example, okay, because he's a senator for the city of Hagerstown.
Sure.
You know, along with the rest of Washington County. Mm-hmm. You know, so, you know, yeah, sure, Chris, I understand, you know, where your principles are. I do. And I applaud you for trying to uphold them as much as possible. But I also know that when push comes to shove, sometimes it's easier to fall down on your own.
Sure.
Than to get shoved down.
And the reality is that the money is being spent elsewhere. If we don't take it for important projects in our community, it's just going to go to another
And you're relating to the no bond bill thing.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, and I mean, in other things too. There's been tons of stuff, and it wasn't a bond bill. I mean, you know, I'll never, ever forget Ripken Stadium in Aberdeen. You know, $23 million. That should have been Ripken Stadium in Hagerstown, Maryland.
Sure.
And I mean, that wasn't bond bill money. That was a pure political decision. Sure. And quite honestly, we either didn't have the horsepower or the will to get behind that.
We can go back to 2012, and I will tell you.
Sure.
I had 2 of the 3 members on the Board of Public Works for the state of Maryland that said that they would put $10 million in the annual capital budget, not bond bill money, in the budget for a new stadium in downtown Hagerstown, but only in downtown because of the economic development drive that it would cause.
Sure.
You know, I mean, when you have the governor and the comptroller, 2 of the 3 seats, telling you that, you don't need anybody else.
Well,
you just need that. You need them to
exactly
say
right.
yes and put it in the
Exactly
capital budget.
But then why don't we get it? What's the answer? Why don't we get it? I mean,
we had an election. That's why.
Well, that's exactly right, because we had an election, and the citizens, and I mean, I hate to say this because Jim, you mentioned it a little earlier in the program today, is that I love this place. I mean, this is one of the 5 places in America that I would live, and this is one of them, and I love this place. But my golly, Neds, what do we do, Bob? I mean, you know, we get what we elect.
We are our own our own worst enemy.
I've seen.
I mean, we really are.
Yeah, that's
and the problem is the folks that are on the no bond bill bandwagon. You have no chance of changing their mind because for them it's an issue of morality or whatever it is, but there's no change in their mind.
I'm doing a little thing over in the next couple of days at Fort Ritchie on the history of Fort Ritchie, and you know, talking about the feds don't do a lot for us here locally in Western Maryland. And one of the things that I'm going to be talking about in that sort of that lecture is the fact that had we had different representation in Congress, we'd have never closed Fort Ritchie. You know, Fort Ritchie got closed because we didn't have the horsepower in Congress to keep it open. Now, Roscoe Bartlett's a good friend of mine. I voted for him every time he was up for election. No 2 ways around that. But I don't think Roscoe served us in Western Maryland very well when it came to.
Sure is a lot of infrastructure improvements in Frederick.
That's what I say, in Western Maryland.
So let me ask you this. What is the impact of our congressperson, our congressman coming out and saying, guys, we're doing a disservice to this part of our constituents? Will we see anything from that?
Well, I hope we will.
Have any political clout?
I hope we will
to make that work.
The problem is he's a backbencher. I mean, he's a first-term congressman, and I mean he's got about as much power in that Congress as you or I have, and we're not even elected down there. So I don't know what it'll do. I find it interesting though that a Democrat talking about a very red part of the state of Maryland, very red part of the state of Maryland. Comes out and publicly says.
But remember, he won in this county last election.
Sure.
And I don't remember the exact numbers, but it was not by a little bit.
Oh, no. I mean, in many respects, he...
and he's been here.
Yeah.
I mean, he spent time here.
Yeah. Congressman Delaney is here a lot. A lot more than we ever saw Congressman Bartlett, just so you know.
Oh, yeah.
You know, but, I mean, face it, we don't have, you know, a Robert Byrd in the Senate, okay? You know, and Mikulski comes up whenever she wants to promote something or do a press conference about a grant for police departments or fire departments. You know, that's fantastic. Cardin, about the same as Mikulski.
Sure.
You know, I think less than Mikulski probably.
Well, I was trying to be nice, Jim. But anyway, I mean, he's still my senator, so I still have to, be nice. But you know, if we had more clout with our senators, then I believe that we'll see a lot more happening in Western Maryland. You know, I mean, how many How many federal joints were opened up in West Virginia under Byrd?
Well, absolutely.
I mean, everybody.
That was one of my favorite statements. Is they used to call it when I was dealing with the federal government. They used to refer to those as bird droppings.
Yeah.
There were lots of bird droppings.
Hey, you know,
in
pork barrel,
West Virginia, sure.
It's a wonderful thing.
Well,
when it benefits you.
Well, that's exactly. That's
when
exactly
it doesn't benefit you, it's not very nice. But when it benefits you, it's great.
And I think we have to. Well, one point I wanted to make before we close out on this is, interestingly enough, if you look at the state budget and the amount of tax dollars we pay in versus the amount of tax dollars that are spent in Washington County, we're a taker.
Yeah, I get that.
It's $1.15.
We pay less than
for every dollar we pay in. I understand that.
And so, in some respects, we can't just say that we're under supported.
But here's what we can say, Art, and I'm going to take the last word on this one because we're about out of time. Here's what we can say to the delegation: look at these projects on a project-by-project basis. Do the ROI, and if you can spend this much and get back this much, by God, do it, whether it's a bond bill or not.
It's a business decision.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Don't touch that dial. Art is back again, and the subject is ripped from the headlines. Seems like the public unions are into suing the city. Stay tuned.
Hi, I'm Mr. CopyQuick. Most people know CopyQuick as the place to go for fast copies. As Mr. CopyQuick, I still do copies fast, but I do a lot more. I do beautiful digital color printing. I also do graphics design. Wow, I was created by my own staff, and I'm so easy to find. I'm located at 710 Oak Hill Avenue, Hagerstown. There's plenty of store-side parking, or you can visit me at copyquick.com. If you want to see how really good I am, give me a try. I'm Mr. CopyQuick.
Woodlands Apartments, with up to more than 1,200 square feet of beautiful living space. Now's the best time to look into Homewood at Williamsport. Conveniently located close to Washington and Baltimore, we have a rich tradition of helping retirees maintain an independent social lifestyle. Homewood offers attractive, spacious cottages without any maintenance hassle or headaches, plus a vibrant social community and access to the best amenities and medical care. These really are the best years of your life, so why not make the most of them? Enjoy worry-free living today and tomorrow at Homewood at Williamsport.
Businesses depend on technology, and smart businesses are migrating to cloud computing to increase performance and functionality and to eliminate costly in-house servers. With 15 years of experience, over 100 employees, and over 1 million users converted, Planet Technologies has cloud computing solutions for large business, small business, and your business. Reach for the cloud with Planet Technologies.
Here's what our customers are saying about Wolf Furniture's showroom.
The showroom is amazing.
They have a beautiful selection.
Wolf's showroom is awesome.
Beautiful. The Wolf showroom is beautiful. Awesome.
Classy. Compared to others, very classy.
Very classy, very unique. And as Freddie said, the prices are very competitive.
Come in and see for yourself our wide selection of quality furniture at very competitive prices at Wolf Furniture.
Arbors Carson Jewelers has been your community jeweler for over 110 years. We have the region's largest selection of diamonds, designer jewelry, including bridal, gold, and silver fashion jewelry, and fine Swiss timepieces. We strive to combine quality, expert personal attention, and affordable financing to create an exceptional shopping experience aimed at exceeding your expectations. At Carson's Jewelers, there's something for everyone that will bring a smile to that someone special in your life.
The University System of Maryland at Hagerstown provides a convenient and affordable opportunity for you to meet your goals.
I graduated from Hagerstown Community College. I went into the job force and I had 3 children, and I just decided I was ready to obtain my goal of becoming a teacher.
At USMH, you can choose from more than 20 programs of study to complete your bachelor's degree or earn a master's degree.
I feel like I'm finally where I'm supposed to be.
USMH, you're ready, we're here.
Here's another opportunity for you to discuss the inside workings of the city of Hagerstown. You can talk about arbitration, mediation, negotiation, and all those other shuns. What's binding mean? Does the city give away their legislative prerogatives by taking this issue to referendum? Are unions good for the public sector? lots of room for discussion, pro and con. What do you think, Bob?
Well, I want to preface what I'm going to say during this segment by saying that I am a card-carrying member of 2 unions in good standing.
Okay.
Okay. So I still believe wholeheartedly in unions and that they can do good. All right. Having said that, this is not good. This is bad.
Okay.
You know, the firefighters came to the city of Hagerstown back in March, I believe it was, maybe even in the beginning of April, and asked them in open session during citizen comments they would like for the city of Hagerstown to put binding arbitration up for referendum on the election, which would be in 2016.
Right.
Okay. City of Hagerstown, of course, is not going to do that because binding arbitration ties their hands.
Sure.
And when they realized that the city wasn't going to do that, then the firefighters began a petition drive to petition it to referendum.
Right.
All right. So they successfully completed the amount of signatures that they needed of legitimate registered voters in the city of Hagerstown. And they approached the mayor and council and said, we have the signatures and it needs to go on, you know, you have to take action once we submitted all the signatures within 60 days.
Sure.
60 days was over the end of July. The city took no action, sent them a letter saying they were taking no action whatsoever. Right. And so now the firefighters are suing them, well, the police and firefighter unions are suing them because they didn't follow the legislative process that was put in place for referendum.
Well, let's tell the viewers too, and because I think this is a very interesting piece. Binding arbitration. Okay, arbitration
sounds just like it is.
Yep,
binding.
You have arbitration requires a third party to intercede in negotiations. That's step one.
Binding arbitration means that third party has the final say.
Absolutely,
period.
Which means, and I would venture to say that you would never hire an elected official to be the arbitrator. Right. Which means the arbitrator with final word is somebody that is not elected by the people.
Right. No.
And that, you see, is the problem. Now, why on earth, I happen to agree with the city in total on this one, why on earth would the city of Hagerstown, mayor and council, give up their authority to set wages and to set benefits and to set
basically set tax rate.
Yeah, and tax rate and all those sort of things that we elect them to do. Why would they ever give that up?
They wouldn't.
And I hope they will stick by that to the very end.
And why would the community, the citizens, vote to take away their voice?
Sure.
In that process, because
well,
if you take it
because
away
they
from the
haven't
legislators,
now keep in mind, they've been duped.
Sure.
The citizens of Hagerstown. When someone comes up and knocks on my door and they have a petition in their hand and they say, you know, my 23-year-old comes to the door and the guy says, hey, do you support fire and police in Hagerstown? And he says, yes. Well, would you sign this petition?
Yeah, there you go.
And he signs the petition. And then I get told about it because I've already chased these guys off my property 4 times. And, you know, I get told about it by my wife. And so, you know, I explained to my son what binding arbitration is and what the petition is all about. And he says, look, I never said that. I never would have signed that. Exactly. The problem is the citizens who signed this petition, and I will guarantee you 80% of them have no clue what they signed or why they signed it, except that they were supporting police and fire.
Sure. Which we all do.
Sure we do. Oh
so
my God,
yes. How do we pick the arbitrator? Do we have a binding arbitration about picking the arbitrator?
No, the arbitrator is picked between, it has to be an agreement between both the city of Hagerstown and the unions.
Okay, so if we can't come to agreement on the salaries and everything else, what leads us to believe that they're going to be able to come to agreement on the arbitrator? Because if I'm the union guy, I want somebody pro-union, and if I'm the city, I want somebody pro-local government.
Well, the problem is that, you know, the firefighters moved ahead with this petition drive, spending $100,000, okay, on this petition.
Did they get that from the Gaming Commission?
They actually took it out of their funds from the Bonanza. I mean, that's what they raised funds for, okay. The But you know, the problem is that you know these guys settled a contract.
Right.
Settled a contract that cost the taxpayers $500,000 more this year in the budget. Settled a contract that cost the taxpayers $500,000 more, $500,000, and they still want binding arbitration.
And still want to say that they want to.
I don't understand.
Sure.
I say flip a coin.
Well, yeah.
I say you don't need to flip a coin. I say the answer is no.
Here's the deal. I promise
No.
you we'll come back on this issue at some other time, because I think this is a very good issue for us as the flip side to be informative to the public about what's in some of this stuff. I'm kind of tired of petition parrots' point of view, which is, you know, take everything to referendum and take a petition around and get lots of people to sign it. Last week, we did, on the rip from the headlines, we had the new sheriff in town. Actually, he's not a sheriff, he's a candidate for county commission, Ron Bowers. I will tell you that we had more responses to that segment than we've had for any of our other segments. The interesting thing about it is about half of the responses were extremely positive about Ron throwing his hat back in the race. The other half said, you know, you got to be kidding me. What's this 71-year-old guy running for public office today? So we'll have some more comments on that later in some of our rip from the headlines discussions.
We're going to take a poll.
Yeah, we probably
Let's take
will.
a poll,
Or
yeah.
we'll get a binding arbitrator. That's exactly right. After the break, Jim will lead a discussion about the growth of post-high school educational opportunities. It's in the news.
If you have the audacity to believe that the massive challenge of saving for college deserves more than meager attention from your financial advisor,
If you believe that whatever you're facing, you deserve face time.
Join the nearly 7 million investors who think like you do. FaceTime and Think Time make a difference.
join us.
At Edward Jones, it's how we make sense of investing.
These really are the best years of your life, so why not make the most of them at Homewood at Williamsport? Conveniently located near Washington and Baltimore, we have a rich tradition of helping retirees maintain an independent social lifestyle. Homewood offers attractive, spacious cottages without any maintenance hassle or headaches, plus a vibrant social community and access to the best amenities and medical care. Woodlands Apartments with up to more than 1,200 square feet of beautiful living space. Now's the best time to look into Homewood at Williamsport. Enjoy worry-free living today and tomorrow at Homewood at Williamsport.
Businesses depend on technology, and smart businesses are migrating to cloud computing to increase performance and functionality and to eliminate costly in-house servers. With 15 years of experience, over 100 employees, and over 1 million users converted, Planet Technologies has cloud computing solutions for large business, small business, and your business. Reach for the cloud with Planet Technologies.
The University System of Maryland at Hagerstown provides a convenient and affordable opportunity for you to meet your goals.
I graduated from Hagerstown Community College. I went into the job force and I had 3 children, and I just decided I was ready to obtain my goal of becoming a teacher.
At USMH, you can choose from more than 20 programs of study to complete your bachelor's degree or earn a master's degree.
I feel like I'm finally where I'm supposed to be.
USMH, you're ready, we're here.
Hi, I'm Mr. CopyQuick. Most people know CopyQuick as the place to go for fast copies. As Mr. CopyQuick, I still do copies fast, but I do a lot more. I do beautiful digital color printing. I also do graphics design. Wow, I was created by my own staff, and I'm so easy to find. I'm located at 710 Oak Hill Avenue, Hagerstown. There's plenty of store-side parking, or you can visit me at copyquick.com. If you want to see how really good I am, give me a try. I'm Mr. CopyQuick.
So, Art, I know that we have a lot of educational opportunities in our community. Kaplan is growing. The reports are that we also see positive growth at the USMH campus. And of course, we have HCC, which is just a wonderful wonderful institution. What's going on in terms of education, new facilities, students, and programs? Is this a viable way to better our community economically?
Well, I think so. And last week on the flip side, we had panel discussion about economic development in the downtown. And one of the parts of the plan has been to increase the educational footprint in the downtown area. And I said it last week. I'll say it again.
Which I support, by the way.
I know you do.
So you know.
I know you do. Well,
was any question last week?
I'm going to say something nice about you in just a second.
Okay,
let me get through this.
Once a mayor, always a mayor.
Well, that's exactly right. Well, I mean, quite honestly, and I'll fess it up to our viewers, is that, Bob and I were on opposite sides of an issue when it was talking about bringing the University System of Maryland to the downtown. I mean, there was a great deal of the business community that was totally opposed to that.
Yes, indeed.
And Bob Bruchey was totally in support of it, and he won, and it has been a good thing for the city of Hagerstown. So there's your compliment, Bob, okay?
Thank you.
And because
you better write this one down.
Yeah, that's
well, I can count how
true.
many I get from him on one hand.
But I'm going to tell you, we've got another opportunity with this educational hub, if you will, in the downtown area. So my point to the viewers, as well as to the mayor and city council that's sitting today and the county commissioners, is do it. Do it. Let's not talk about it. Let's do it.
It's great that education is up in Washington County at most of our major universities around this area. One of the things that I get so tired of hearing about is our uneducated workforce. Yeah. We said earlier, 60,000 people leave Washington County to work outside of Washington County. Okay? Now, they go places because they have an education.
Right.
Someplace else that pays them a higher wage. All right? We have educated people in Washington County.
Yes, we do.
The problem is we don't have the jobs for those educated people in Washington.
So they go somewhere else.
They go someplace else.
Sure.
Now, if our people can travel 75 miles a day to go to work, okay, if you could take the city of Hagerstown or Washington County and go outside in a 75-mile radius, why can't we bring those people who are educated in that 75-mile radius to Washington County to work?
Well, we got to have the jobs. I mean, you said it right up front.
So, I don't know which comes first. I mean, it's a chicken and egg thing. Do you have the educated people and then the jobs will come? Or do you bring the jobs and then lure those educated people who are already leaving, and I mean leaving not just from Washington County, but Franklin and Jefferson counties too, and bring them here instead and keep them here.
But regardless of the jobs available, it can't be a bad thing to have an educated population.
Oh my gosh, no.
In Washington County. And what really makes me feel good about what we're doing, we have HCC that, and quite frankly, HCC's numbers have been going down the last year or so, and I'm told that's probably because when the recession hit, a lot of people needed to be retrained. Now that we're at a lower unemployment rate, that's going to slow down. But we have them with the STEM program, we have them with all of these new state-of-the-art programs that are really allowing people to get trained in the specific areas that they want to be trained in, including the truck driver training. We have Kaplan. That is great if you watch their commercials, and I know several people that have gone to Kaplan. They're great at finding financial aid for people. They're great at finding jobs for people as they're exiting the university. And then you have the non-traditional, like the Pittsburgh Institute of Aeronautics, that are training people not only for airplane-related jobs, but also people for Volvo and in the diesel world and for other manufacturing firms. So I think there's a great story to be told, and let's not forget about the Washington County public school system and some of the things they're doing. I think there's a great story to be told, and I think the numbers have nowhere to go but up.
And students spend money.
Yes, they do.
Okay, so there's nothing wrong with having increased student load in our community at college level or even at the high school level. And if you got an increase in student load, you got an increase in teachers, and teachers have money to spend, and so it can be a viable economic growth engine for our community. And like I say, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's quit talking about it. Let's not
do
hire
it.
another
And we're going to end it right there because we are out of time. But we'll be back after a short break for the panel's last call.
Businesses depend on technology, and smart businesses are migrating to cloud computing. to increase performance and functionality, and to eliminate costly in-house servers. With 15 years of experience, over 100 employees, and over 1 million users converted, Planet Technologies has cloud computing solutions for large business, small business, and your business. Reach for the cloud with Planet Technologies.
Hi, I'm Mr. CopyQuick. Most people know CopyQuick as the place to go for fast copies. As Mr. CopyQuick, I still do copies fast, but I do a lot more. I do beautiful digital color printing. I also do graphics design. Wow, I was created by my own staff, and I'm so easy to find. I'm located at 710 Oak Hill Avenue, Hagerstown. There's plenty of store-side parking, or you can visit me at copyquick.com. If you want to see how really good I am, give me a try. I'm Mr. CopyQuick.
These really are the best years of your life, so why not make the most of them at Homewood at Williamsport? Conveniently located near Washington and Baltimore, we have a rich tradition of helping retirees maintain an independent social lifestyle. Homewood offers attractive, spacious cottages without any maintenance hassle or headaches, plus a vibrant social community and access to the best amenities and medical care. Woodlands Apartments with up to more than 1,200 square feet of beautiful living space. Now's the best time to look into Homewood at Williamsport. Enjoy worry-free living today and tomorrow at Homewood at Williamsport.
If you have the audacity to believe that the massive challenge of saving for college deserves more than meager attention from your financial advisor,
If you believe that whatever you're facing, you deserve FaceTime.
Join the nearly 7 million investors who think like you do. FaceTime and Think Time make a difference.
Join us.
At Edward Jones, it's how we make sense of investing.
Each week during this segment, we give each panel member a chance to say what's on their mind. Art, anything up there rattling around?
Yeah, well, it would be rattling because there's a lot of room up there. There's no doubt about it. I want to talk about the flip side, and I want to talk about maybe something we're going to do in future episodes of the flip side. We're going to look at a sort of a pay it forward, Hagerstown Heroes point of view. You know, the newspaper has a segment on Mondays called Monday Breakdown. Mm-hmm. And primarily they look at negative things and how to fix negative things. What we're talking about doing on the flip side among the producers is to do some positive things, examples of people doing good things in this community. We saw an example just the other day of the band director at North Hagerstown High School. And, you know, herding cats when you're talking about high school students in a band out on a big playing field. And the drum major was out there sort of ranting and raving at the students to get in line. And up in the press box was the band director talking in a very normal tone, talking about how the kids could take the skills that they learn in band and utilize those in all aspects of education. This is a Hagerstown hero. This is somebody that's not reverting to screaming and hollering to get things done, but is using very, very good skills as a leader to get things done. So we want to emphasize some of those, and periodically, maybe once a month, we'll put together some flashbacks of some of these things that we're going to use in our promotion material.
Cool. Jim?
So Art used all of our time.
Yes, he did.
So I had two, but I'm going to do the first one just very quickly, and that is the fact that tonight officially starts season 2 of the Flip Side. So this is season 2, episode 1 for all of you that are keeping track. And my other one is back to Art, because this week, as Art mentioned earlier, he's going to be performing at Fort Ritchie. He's going to be giving a very wonderful segment on Fort Ritchie, and tickets are still available. I think it's 7 o'clock tomorrow night or 6 o'clock?
They're going to get together at 6, and then the presentation will probably be around 7.
Okay, so tickets are still available, so please join us at Fort Ritchie. Number one, you'll get to see the wonderful place at Fort Ritchie.
It is.
And number two, you'll get to hear my co-producer, Art Callaham. Now I left you 20 seconds.
Well, thank you so much,
No
Jim.
problem.
I appreciate that.
Anything we can do to
I'll just
help,
tell
Art?
you that we are in town playing baseball coming up, and the season's drawing to a close.
Right.
So get out there and watch a baseball game, root on your hometown team.
Still in first place?
We may have slid out. We may have actually slid back in last night.
Okay.
We did lose to the worst team in the minor league baseball, but that's okay. It happens. But anyway, please come out and enjoy a game.
Good.
August-Oktoberfest coming up at the end of the month. Well, I want to thank everybody for joining us this week, from our panel and all of the talent producers, sponsors, and technical support personnel. We look forward to visiting with you again and letting you